Okay, I think we can start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar series for LIS students. We are very happy that you join us today, and we are very excited because we have top people from IFLA, and for sure they will share their experience with us, and they will tell us what this year's IFLA will look like, and what it will include, what program, but also you will know about possibilities that IFLA can give you, and we hope that you will find a lot of interesting things for yourself, and that you can use this experience in your profession. Thank you.
And also a quick hello from me. My name is Susanne Listretan. I'm also a part of the standing committee of the sectional education and training set. And I'm also in part of the organizing team of this webinar series for LIS students. So our topic today is preparing for IFLA World Library and Information Congress 2023. And our speakers each highlight and talk about the IFLA conference from their personal experience. And we are very pleased that we've been able to invite such a diverse range of panelists who will bring in very different perspectives from IFLA leadership to Congress organizers. So we will have 3 keynotes in total, and you will have the opportunity to ask questions in the Q&A session after each presentation. So before we dive deeper into the topic, a few organizational notes. The event is being recorded. This also includes the chat. The video of the webinar will be posted on YouTube, and the link will be posted on the IFLA Division C website, as well as the web page of the IFLA Sectional Education and Training and social media. The microphones have been muted for the event. And if you do have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box. The Q&A box is below on your screen. If you have questions regarding privacy, please contact professional support at ifla.org. And a huge thank you goes to my colleagues from IFLA SET for preparing this webinar, as well as our speakers, of course. And I will now hand it over to my fellow SET member, Joanne Weeks, who will be moderating this webinar. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so delighted to moderate this panel. And as Suzanne pointed out, our first keynote speaker is going to be Barbara Lison, and our second is going to be Marie-Emmanuelle Marande, and our third keynote speaker is Weir. And I'm the moderator, Joan Weeks, and I'll be handling your questions after each speaker presents their presentation. So without that, I would like to do introductions. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Barbara Lison, who is the president of IFLA and has been director of the Bremen Public Library since 1992. And Barbara has been actively involved in the German and European Library Associations, sorry about that, and IFLA for many years. She has served as president of the Federal Association of Library and Information in Germany, the umbrella organization of the German Library Association. From 2016 to 2019, she was chair of the German Library Association, and she's held a number of senior positions in the European Bureau of the Libraries, Archives, and Documentation Associations, including vice president. Our next speaker, Marie-Emmanuelle Marande, has been the IFLA Conference Coordinating Manager since 2019. On behalf of IFLA, she liaisons and coordinates all the stakeholders involved in the organizations of IFLA Congress. A large job. She manages the WLIC Congress and its processes with the aim of ensuring a high level of participant satisfaction and raising IFLA's profile internationally. On average, 3,000 participants attend the WLIC conference. And our third presentation is going to be by Weir. Weir is the new president-elect of IFLA, and she's a librarian archivist of Canada, leading libraries and archives in Canada since 2019. Ms. Weir is leading LAC through transformation with the development of LAC strategies through 2030 and strategic priorities 23 to 25, transformation of service and IT infrastructure, as well as the reorganization of its structure to support achievements of LAC's mandate, all with a focus on people and access. She is currently a member of the Forum of National Archivists Steering Committee, Vice Chair of the Conference of Directors at National Libraries and Professional Associations, a chair at IFLA. So with that, I would like to go ahead and get us underway. So I'm going to stop sharing and turn it over to Barbara Lison. Welcome in.
Thank you, Joanne, for the introduction. Thank you very much. Well, actually, I'm the IFLA president and I'm in the IFLA office in The Hague. I'm here in a room with many memories and souvenirs from all the different World Library Information Congresses. Just behind me, you can see a poster of the 1996 Istanbul World Library and Information Congress. So it's a long time ago, but you can see this is a long tradition. The IFLA was founded in 1927, and since then, not always since then, but many decades, we have these conferences, and it is a great event for the colleagues. It's a great event for the world because we learn a lot, and then we can give that what we learned back to the world. I would like to share now my screen with you for my personal presentation of the World Library and Information Congress. Just a minute. So, Rotterdam welcomes IFLA WLIC 2021. Well, this is, of course, not a mistake, but this is deliberately done in order to show you what has happened with the IFLA conferences in the last years because of the pandemic. The conference, which shall now take place in Rotterdam, should have been taken place in 2021. And in 2021, we had a virtual conference. 2019 was the last conference in person. And now in 2022, we had a conference in Dublin, the first after the pandemic, which should have taken place already in 2020. So now we are coming back from the past into the future. And now the future is 2023, the conference in Rotterdam. Let's work together, let's library. So the WLIC, because sometimes people say IFLA, but correctly, this conference is World Library and Information Congress, called WLIC or WLIC, whatever you like in your language. So it is an IFLA WLIC. The conferences have a motto every year. And this year, the motto is, let's work together, let's library. It is the 88th IFLA General Conference and Assembly. We will come to that later. And the time is from the 21st to the 25th of August. The location is Rotterdam in the Netherlands in Europe. And Dutch libraries are really best practice in Europe, and I think not only in Europe. They can be, our colleagues are very proud about their libraries, and they are, of course, waiting for you to show you their libraries in a way like you visit them or just in presentations. But they also made a very nice video, everything you always wanted to know about Dutch libraries. I will now try to, that I think, again, this does not really work well. No. So let's go back to the presentation. I try to go back now. How can I do this?
Do you want me to try to share the video?
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, could you do that?
I can give it a try.
Yeah, give it a try, please. My browser is on the latest version, but obviously it's difficult.
And then try sharing again.
Yeah, I try. Well, you now first, Susanne tries to show. Well, I don't want to show you the whole video, but just some impressions of Rotterdam, which is the second largest city in the Netherlands.
Just let me know if you can see and when you want me to stop the video.
Yes, just start it now. I think the video is, yeah.
A city bursting with energy and creativity, young, dynamic, sparkling and diverse. Rotterdam is where everybody wants to be. Following in the footsteps of the famous Rotterdam-born philosopher, scholar and humanist Desiderius Erasmus, we encourage discussions and critical thinking to bring informed citizens closer together. At the heart of all the action immersed in the vibrant city stands the Rotterdam Public Library, one of the largest cultural institutions in the Netherlands. The Rotterdam Public Library is a treasure trove for scholars and library officers from all over the world. Its vaults contain the world's largest Erasmus collection. His books have had a profound effect on the free society we live in today. And even though Erasmus lived 500 years ago, his ideas are still extremely valuable to us today, not only in Rotterdam and the Netherlands, but also throughout the world. So where is this bustling city? Rotterdam is the second largest city in the Netherlands, the gateway to Europe and an international hub of trade and innovation. Bombarded in the Second World War, the place had to be rebuilt from scratch, and its people did so with pride and resilience. With a rapidly growing, diverse population made up of over 170 nationalities, Rotterdam is never short of fresh thinking and cross-border innovation. Today, Rotterdam ranks among the most popular destinations worldwide. People from all over the world flock to experience our amazingly diverse and ever-changing city. Rotterdam is honored to host the IFLA World Library and Information Congress of 2023.
Welcome.
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 Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome in Rotterdam.
Yes, this was the promotion about Rotterdam, and then the following is a discussion between a colleague from the Dutch National Library with several colleagues what you can expect from the World Library and Information Congress. So when you continue watching this video, you will see a lot about different libraries and also about the Congress. So now I share again my screen. And this is the website for the Congress. It is 2023.ifla.org. You will find any information when you go to this website, which is updated. You can see here all the different information from the different times that are relevant. We started here in March. Now this is the latest IFLA newsletter of May 17. And when you go there, you find always a lot of information. And you can also, you see to the top right, there is the video. You can start the video there as well. So let's have a quick look what it would cost you to participate in this conference, because you see the euro rates. It's quite a number of money which you have to invest. But when you go to the student rates for the whole registration, it is the early bird is gone, unfortunately. For students, it would have been 290 euros. Now, at the moment, it is 335 euros. for a registration for a student. When you go to the right side of that page, you can also see that there is a virtual registration fee. That means many events of this conference are streamed, are of course recorded, but also streamed, and you can see the stream immediately. And for a student, the rate is still on until the 16th of June. It is 90 euros now for a student to go to the Congress virtually. So it is perhaps a first event that you go there. You don't need any travel, you don't need any hotels, just go there virtually. But of course, it is more thrilling and cooler, I would say, to go to the conference as a person or in a person. Now I would like to share with you some of the highlights of the conference. And you see, there is the program. The program is interactive. You can access the program, make your own program, schedule out of it. And it is, I think, our professional Congress organizer is doing that very well. So you can individually personalize your program. So the first highlight, that is the brown square. You see the opening ceremony. The opening ceremony is always very special. It is organized by the National Committee. And of course, it shows the national and the local interests on stage. Unfortunately, we don't have an open ceremony for 2023 yet. Therefore, I would like to show you the opening ceremony or some pictures of the opening ceremony of the last conference in Dublin 2022. So you see, there is a full house, a big room, several hundred people are there. And of course, Irish dancing was the national specific. You have wonderful Irish music, great Irish dancing. And we had Mary Robinson, a very popular and very smart politician who is working now, especially on the Sustainable Development Goal, on the climate topic. So it was a highlight of the conference. And you see many people already here starts the discussion, people meet each other and they start the conference. In that opening, there is personal meetings after the conference opening. So the next one is the cultural evening. Of course, no cultural evening 2023 yet, no photos. And the secret is still there. Where does the cultural evening 2023 take place? Again, some pictures to motivate you, to give you the thrill for the cultural evening in 2022. That was in a spectacular branch library in Dublin. You can see the picture there. We had outside events, several outside events, also again, Irish dancing, and not only Irish dancing, but then the Congress was dancing in a very way. In every Congress that I have been, the dancing at the end of all the program is the most challenging thing, because you have to be there, you have to be fit to dance, and you are of course happy to dance. You see these people over there. Then there is something which is also very important. This is the poster sessions. So there is a call for posters from the different working groups. They are called sections, for posters that you can show in a poster your work, your specific work at home, new trends, new ideas which you want to present to your colleagues on the conference. There is almost 100 posters in these poster galleries, and people are standing in front of their posters and discussing with the people who pass by about the ideas that I'm representing in the posters. You see, our librarians, cat people is of course a very important topic, and other posters as well, here from local to global. So why shouldn't you learn Finnish in Africa? That is another poster. The new professionals camp is also something which I want to present you to finalize this. We have a working group in IFLA. It's called Special Interest Group. That is the new professionals. So people who come into the job, and you as students, of course, will come into the job, that's for sure, can join colleagues who are young in the job, who can give you many advices, who can help you, and also will have fun with you. So always at the beginning, there is this IFLA New Professionals Camp. This year, it will be in the Goethe Institute in Rotterdam for 2 days. So if you arrive early enough, you can join the New Professionals Camp. It is on Friday and Saturday before the conference. You can see here the dates. And this is the people who are organizing it, new professionals. And that to the bottom right, there is the IFLA camp participants of last year in Dublin. And the new professionals also always do a flash mob somewhere in the city center. And here you can see them in Dublin reading. There was a reading flash mob, and these are all the people who have participated in that flash mob. Then 2 awards, which I want to show you. The Public Library Award 2022, you can see that. Of course, there will be a Public Library Award 2023. And this is interesting not only for people who are interested in public libraries, it shows top libraries architecturally, conceptually, the ideas that are behind the libraries, the services to the public. There is a big competition all the time, and like in the Oscars, the last 3 libraries who are the shortlisted libraries will be presented, and then at the very end you can also see who was the winner. Last year it was the Marie-Emmanuelle Public Library. And of course, there is always flowers, and people are very, very interested. We had a huge audience always when it comes to the Public Library Award. There is another award that I want to present you, and also an award ceremony. We have a working group, a section called, very complicated word, NSULIB, Environmental and Sustainable Libraries. And this working group also presents an award, the Green Library Award. Here you can see the winners of last year. And again, this year, there will be this award given. And you can see here, again, the program. The green ones are professional sessions, and the brown ones are sessions that are more related to the general experience. Also, you have maybe remember that the opening ceremony was also in brown, and there is another, that's the IFLA General Assembly. Always at the end of the Congress, the members of IFLA congregate for the AGM in order to dissolve things, to decide about new items that are on the discussion of the IFLA Governing Board, to decide about the statutes, to decide about the budget, of course, and also to see the report of the last year. This is because we did not have a General Assembly of that kind in 2021 because still of COVID. So you can see the Athens General Assembly in 2019. Again, a lot of people there. There is a big interest in our federation, and also from the members as well as from the volunteers. So this was my highlights from the Congress, and I hope that you have now just get some interests and motivation to come to the Congress in person, or at least to join the Congress online. Thank you very much. And of course, I'm happy to respond to your questions.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for that. I'm going to put on a hat as a new member and just kind of ask you, okay, I come to Rotterdam and I see there are all these business meetings and different committees and things. how could I get involved in a committee or join, or how should I approach joining in a business meeting? Can I just go and participate? So if you could help me a little bit with that.
Yeah, there are business meetings and there are sessions. So the sessions are for people who are interested in the topic. The business meetings more or less are for the board, but also there can be observers. First of all, I think it is important that you understand and yet you decide what is my professional topic where I want to focus on. That is the most important thing, to get a kind of a direction where to go. So if let's continue with the green libraries. If my professional interest is in sustainable development goals or in green libraries, how can I support the climate crisis, support the climate crisis, but counteract the climate crisis through my work in a library? Then of course I should look for this specific section, the NSULIP section. Which kind of sessions do they have? And then I go there and participate, of course, in the discussion, listen to the presentations. And you have decided about your focus. But sometimes it's also very interesting to find something new, that you are just looking for something specific, and all of a sudden you discover something, that's also interesting for me. And then you just sit there and listen, and perhaps out of this, there develops your new focus, what you are going to work for. So it is important, first of all, to find your specific, or to be aware of your specific interest, and from there start perhaps also going to other sessions where you just find new topics for you.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Barbara. And I'm going to put the committee finder link in the chat box.
Yes.
And people can kind of look through all those different committees and looking at the schedule. And really, I think that's wonderful advice to kind of look through where you are going to find your white space. Where are you going to find your place in IFLA's big place? And that's very good. I don't see any other questions in our Q&A at this time, but here's an opportunity if any of our participants wants to pop something in quickly before we move on.
May I say something as well? Because especially for our female participants, it is always good to have a scarf with you, because in many of these big halls, it is quite breezy and it is quite cold. So I have seen several people wearing different kinds of warm things in order to get warm. So once you decide that, well, it is August, it should be warm in Rotterdam, maybe it's warm outside, but probably it's not really warm inside. So especially for our female colleagues, be aware that it could be cold in these rooms, and just have something with you to get you warm. And of course, a bottle of water. That's also very important.
I think it's great advice. Just everyone is so happy to help people who are newcomers, and just simply asking, but finding your place can be so rewarding. And please look forward to that. With that, I don't know if we have any more questions, or we'll wrap up with Barbara. And thank you so much for coming with us today. I know you're very busy getting ready for Rotterdam, and we'll then move forward. So
thank you, Joanne,
so
and thank you, everybody. And I hope to see you in Rotterdam. I'm sure I see many of you. And well, if not, then just join us virtually. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Barbara. So with that, then, thank you so much. We're ready for you, Marie-Emmanuelle. If you'd like to unmute, I've done the introduction a bit, but you must be on complete overload as the conference planner.
But I am, but I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you for the invitation. It was a great introduction from Barbara, but I would like to introduce myself maybe first. I've lived in 5 countries over the last 26 years, let's say, and I speak 5 languages. And this actually is very, very useful when you organize this conference, because like Barbara said, attendees come from around 130 countries in average. And I get to interact with a lot of different nationalities, and I really appreciate all the travels that I've been doing and the different locations where I have been living, because it gives me a good, or a better, let's say, understanding of all the attendees that are coming to the conference. I have a background in history, a master in history, international relations, and in business administration, another one in business administration management. But I have to confess that I am not a librarian. And actually, when I got offered the position, or when I first saw the position for the conference management with IFLA, I had never heard about IFLA at all. So it was I was totally new when I joined IFLA in 2019, but I enjoyed it very much so far. So very pleased to organizing this conference, to collaborate organizing the conference. I would like maybe to start sharing my screen with a little wrap-up video from 2022. So I think it gives a good idea of what the conference looks like. It's a very short video. Hold on. Doesn't ask me any question, and I should. Can you hear the sound?
Yes.
You are IFLA, we all are IFLA. With these words, I declare the 87th World Library and Information Congress open.
Míle fáilte go baileach léir.
It's wonderful that this important congress for libraries around the world and librarians is taking place here in Dublin. Of course, it was meant to take place in 2020 and was postponed by COVID. And you can sense how much people appreciate being together and the welcome.
What can I say about IFLA? Most amazing experience. Me as a newbie in this whole thing, this is my first IFLA ever. You have to experience it, it's amazing. So many countries, I think more than 150 countries.
So that was the wrap-up video from 2022, which I like. I really like these videos. We produce one after each conference. Actually, if you look them up on either on IFLA Vimeo channel or IFLA YouTube channel, you will be able to find the 2019, the 2018, the 2016 videos. They all provide, I think, a different vibe, obviously, because they are all different conferences. They are really inspiring, I think, and it's nice to have a look at them.
So I would like to continue, of course, to come to a wrap-up video like that. The wrap-up video is shown during shared during the closing ceremony of the conference. There is a huge amount of work, of course, to be done before we can finish that closing ceremony. And I would like to explain a little bit maybe the Congress cycle of that conference. The conference is organized over a 3-year cycle. It starts with a call for expression of interest. So the IFLA has a governing board, and this governing board decide to which region of the world or to which regions of the world the call should be addressed. The idea behind this is that IFLA doesn't want the conference to always take place in the same region if possible. That hasn't been very easy in the last years because of the pandemic, obviously. But the goal is to attend or to give an opportunity to all the regions, obviously, to get that conference so that librarians from the regions can get a chance to travel easier to the conference. So it starts with a call for expression of interest, and then I gather some proposals from different cities around the world. The proposal are actually submitted by the national associations of the countries in collaboration with the cities. We assess all the proposals that we receive, and then we start making some travels to some of these destinations once the IFLA board has approved made a selection of a few destinations when they think it would be a good fit for the conference. And then after we have proceeded to these travels, then we make a final recommendation, and then the board selects the final destination. The destination, for example, for 2025 should be announced, for example, at this WLIC, but the cycle has been disrupted because of the pandemic. So we will be announcing, hopefully very soon, the 2024 location. And then we will resume next year announcing the 25 destination during the 24 conference. I would like to share again my screen with you I can do that. Yeah. So that's the WLIC website, the conference website, which is actually I don't want to say a Bible, but there is a lot of information certainly in this conference website. When we start, once we have the destination chosen for a given conference, we start building this website. So we first have a landing page, for example, which would be this page in this case, and it's at the beginning of the process of the conference. It's just one page, and then through the time when we get closer to the conference, we add more and more and more information to this website. We constantly update that website. So until August this year, I will be updating that website, and not only me, but also our logistic partner, KIT. So I wanted to show you, sorry, not this one. I wanted to show you this, which is the Congress outline. So like Barbara said, the conference will start on Monday, 21st of August, and will last 4 days. So from the 21st to the 24th. That being said, on the Friday after the conference
lessons, in
has
particular from
ended,
outside the sector, and to gain new perspectives and insights.
Video is continuing to play. So on the Friday, we have the library visits. The library visits are organized throughout the Netherlands and Belgium this year. So it's a display, or there is a program, let's say, of a certain number of libraries, different type of libraries, art libraries, prison libraries, research, university libraries, whatever the type, all over the Netherlands and in Belgium. This is in general extremely popular with WLIC delegates, and they enjoy that very much. but so that's the 5 main days. But there are also some internal meetings taking place around the conference as well, before the conference and the day of the library visit. That's not for the regular delegates, but still it's very interesting. Especially, I want to draw your attention on the caucus meetings that take place this year, right before the conference starts, one day before. The caucus meetings are meetings that are held in a foreign language, like, for example, Leslie will participate in the Canadian caucus, which will be in English, but there will be an Arabic caucus, a Spanish caucus, a Portuguese caucus, a French caucus. So there are different, I think this year we have 15 of them, Japanese, Korean. So it's very interesting when you want to when you come to the conference, because that gives you an opportunity to network with some of your colleagues that you may not know yet, and to discuss some topics or issues from your own country or your own, let's say, sphere of language. There is also the cultural evening on the Tuesday evening. Barbara showed some pictures of the previous cultural evening. It's always a highlight during the conference. People enjoy that very much. It's very informal and very festive. And yeah, that's what happened during that week. Now, in addition to that program, to those 4 days and the 5th day of the library visit, there are also some satellite meetings that are organized around the conference, before the conference and after the conference. In 2023, so they are all listed on this page, satellite meeting page, and we have 26 of them. Literally, the satellite meetings are almost mini conferences around the conferences, and they are dedicated to a specific topic organized by an IFLA group. I would love personally to attend some of them. I won't be able because I will be too busy, but I think it's a great extension of all the sessions that are available in the conference program. So apart from that, so there are, like Barbara said, there are 3,000 delegates from around 130 countries attending the conference, depending on years. Obviously, last year in Dublin, we had like 2,000 delegates only. Because we started the conference planning very late due to the pandemic. We didn't know if we would be able to go to Dublin, but we were very happy with the outcome, because we thought that we would get less delegates. Barbara mentioned the posters. So yes, we have some poster sessions twice during the week, 200 posters. You can easily, if you're interested in the posters or interested in sharing some poster or presenting a poster next year, you can have a look at the IFLA repository, for example, and you will find all the posters in the IFLA repository. But not only there, if you go back to the WLIC website and you go to poster sessions, you can have a preview of all the posters that will be presented this year. So right now we have like 187 posters already listed. We're still adding some of them because some people are struggling with their registrations or with their visa. So, but right now, yeah, 187 posters. You can see the diversity of the countries where the posters presenters come from, but it's a great way to meet colleagues as well, and to get some inspiration and some stories about the projects shown in those posters. When I joined the first conference in 2019, I didn't know, it was my first week with IFLA. So I started right with the conference and I didn't know much about IFLA in general, although I had done some research, obviously, but still, it's something different to do the research and to be there. And I spend a lot of time at the posters. And I have to say, I was extremely impressed and energized by the motivation and by the energy that people had put in their poster, and the will to share their experiences in their libraries and in their countries. And there was it's a very vibrant session. People interact a lot, network a lot, are very pleased to meet each other and learn from each other, because at the poster session it's very easy to interact with the presenters. It's a little bit more difficult, maybe, or impressive to interact with the speakers in a session, let's say. But the posters are very is a very good. It was a very good session for me, and since then I have a favor for the posters. What else can I tell you about the conference? So we have 280 sessions. Barbara showed you the program. There is a filter that you can use in the program on the left side of the page if you want to. I don't know if you're interested in some specific sessions, like, for example, this year we have a lot of session on artificial intelligence. That's a hot topic of the 2023 conference. So you can always do a filter check to check all the sessions related to that. But the conference also has a big exhibition, and we have in 2022, for example, we had 52 exhibitors, 23 sponsors. So it's a lot of work as well to make sure that they come to the conference and that they come and they bring and share their knowledge with the attendees. It's a very interesting group, very different group of people, but it's a highlight as well. There is an opening opening party for the exhibition, and the posters actually are located. The poster exhibition is actually located in the exhibition area. There is another little exhibition, which is the library, what we call the Library Boulevard, and the Library Boulevard are also posters, but they are posters about Dutch libraries only. The difference between the poster exhibition is that the poster exhibition, anyone can submit a proposal for a poster. If it's selected, then you can come and present at WLIC on any topic of your interest or any project. The Library Boulevard is really only on the Dutch libraries. But for the posters exhibition, there are two categories. People are competing, it's a competition, and there is a winner, and the winner gets a conference ticket for the next year. This year we will have a new category, the People's Choice, because it's a hybrid conference this year, like Barbara mentioned, and all the posters will also be available online for the online delegates, and they will get a chance to vote online for their favorite poster. So that's an innovation for this year. Yeah, I think that's about what I wanted to talk to you about the conference today. I would like to finish maybe with a last video. I think it's very important for people that are interested to come to the conference to get really prepared, because there is so much content, possible content that you can choose from. And I think if you come, unprepared, you might miss some opportunities. And because it's not so cheap, let's say, I think it's worth to spend a little bit of time on the program and on understanding what's the content of the conference. So I'm going to share my screen quickly again. So that's our video for this year. Happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you so much. This has been terrific. I did manage to fish out a question out of the chat for you, and it had to do with, what about hotels? How are they, easy to get or difficult? And I found the link on the site that I'm going to pass out, but maybe you can just highlight some of the things about the hotels.
Yes, so on the website, there is, on the conference website, there is a list of hotels recommended by our logistic or professional conference organizers. So we are being helped by a company based in Germany, and they, for example, they source these hotels and they make some contracts with them so that we make sure that we have some rooms blocked for the conference. So on the conference website, we have these hotels rooms listed. That being said, I know that many delegates also book their accommodation through either Airbnb or booking.com, because sometimes it's a little bit easier or quicker, or I don't know, it's more in their price range. So I wanted to mention that the conference center in Rotterdam is located on the west bank of the river, and it's actually, there are not any hotels actually close to the conference center. So you have to pay attention to that. There will be a little bit of traveling between your hotel and the conference center, but like up to 25 minutes maximum.
That's great information. And I have just one other thing that I noticed, those wonderful volunteer had on the vests, and
yes,
they were so wonderfully helpful. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to the volunteers, but also give you an opportunity to say a word about how the volunteers can help this this conference.
Yeah, so we have around between 200 and 300 volunteers for each conference. So we post a call on the conference website, but for this conference, the call is already closed, and the volunteers have already been selected. But we rely a lot on them. They come from mainly the host country, but also we have 20% of international volunteers. We welcome and we appreciate very much international volunteers, actually, because of the languages issues, they can support very, very well the conference. Also because being a volunteer at the conference provides you a free registration. And I think it's very valuable, specifically for everybody, but specifically for students, because it's free and you get to do one shift per day, and the rest of the day you can attend the rest of the sessions. So I think it's a great deal, you know, to participate in such a way to such a big conference.
Thank you. And that gives an opportunity. Any question, they just know exactly where the next event is, and so helpful. Big shout out to, they've always been so helpful. So I didn't see any other questions. Does anybody have a quick one they want to put in chat or otherwise? Well, thank you so much, Maria. I think we're ready to transition then on to Leslie. So Leslie, would you like to get us started? And congratulations on becoming the incoming president for IFLA. That's so exciting.
No, thank you very much, Joan. So as you mentioned, I'm the Librarian and Archivist of Canada. And I thought, since I knew that Marie-Emmanuelle and Barbara would probably cover almost everything that I could think to tell you about IFLA, I thought I would take you on a more personal journey. So my very first IFLA was in Quebec City in 2008. And that is, of course, in Canada. So quite often at our WLICs, we have quite a number of people who are first-time attendees from the country that's hosting WLIC. So it's a great opportunity when WLIC is in your country or your region to be able to attend and get a bit of a feel for WLIC. What I'll say is, my first conference, I didn't know my way around. I didn't know how things worked. I didn't know that it was okay to go and observe at, the standing committee and the section meetings because I hadn't done enough research in advance. So I would like to reinforce what Marie-Emmanuelle was saying about planning before you go so that you can have the best experience when you're there. Now, I did have a great time. I'm not saying I didn't, but the first time you attend any conference, you're getting a feel for the way the conference works and how many concurrent sessions there are and how to get from one session to another and, which topics interest you more. So my second opportunity to attend WLIC was when the Ingrid Perrin became president, and she was the first Canadian president of WLIC. And at that time, the institution that I worked for, the University of Ottawa, decided to join IFLA to be able to celebrate the fact that we had our first Canadian president of IFLA. So she became president in 2011 and was president until 2013. So by 2013, I decided I would run for election into a standing committee at IFLA, and I became a member of the management and marketing group. So, and then I am currently division chair A, so I'm on the professional committee, professional council, and actually had a great experience working with Marie-Emmanuelle because I chaired the program committee for the professional council for WLIC 2022 in Dublin and WLIC 2023 in Rotterdam. And Marie-Emmanuelle and the team are really great to work with in terms of the planning of the sessions. I did want to emphasize that it's really, really good to attend the country or language caucus, because then you'll know what colleagues are there that speak the same language as you, but you'll also know who's there from your country. And you may find that there are actually people there that you know. And if you're going to the Congress on your own, that's one thing, but it's really great if you can plan to attend, especially if it's your first time, maybe with another LS student or with someone you know who's already a professional and is planning to attend. It also means that you'll be able to, because it's at the beginning of the conference, the caucus meetings, that it creates an opportunity for you to plan to meet up with people later on and maybe go to some sessions with people or have a cup of coffee with someone. So it makes it a little bit more fun to have the social along with the professional. I will say that the satellite meetings are a great opportunity if you can afford to come early and spend an extra day or two. And I would like to just put in a little plug for what is number 10 of 26 satellite meetings, the LGBTQ user special interest group with my former section management and marketing is hosting a session called The Library is Open, Creating Safe Working Environments for LGBTQ+ library employees and marketing supportive LGBTQ+ services. And I only mention it because I'm one of the keynote speakers. So I'd love to see you there. And if any of you can come, please do introduce yourselves, reach out as Marie-Emmanuelle's video encouraged you to do. Everyone at the Congress always wants to meet others who are attending, and people are always thrilled to be able to connect with someone whose first conference it is, or someone who's newly coming into the profession of the library world. So don't be shy. And if you are shy, know that people are always happy to be approached and happy to have you as part of their networks. I was going to promote the red vests. Joan beat me to it with her questions, but it is really a great way. You just have to know that the call comes out early in the new year for the volunteers for WLIC. So plan ahead and watch the IFLA website and the WLIC specific website for the upcoming Congress so that you can volunteer if you're able to do that, because you get a great inside view. And as Marie-Emmanuelle mentioned, you also have an opportunity to be able to attend free of charge. And I don't know, Emmanuelle, did you want to add something here about the volunteers?
No, I think it's that's what it is. I mean, yes. Sorry. I wanted to add as well that you can apply to be a volunteer for some specific tasks. For example, you love communications and you are a comm specialist, maybe in your library. Then you can apply to the specific. We have a list of tasks for the volunteers, and then yeah, you could be a good match, and then we pay attention to that. So.
Exactly. It's a great way to start out. And the other thing I would encourage people to do, as both I think Barbara and Marie-Emmanuelle referenced, is if you're able to be there when the standing committees and special interest groups are meeting, do go as an observer, but realize that they're not really going to be focusing on talking about their topic of expertise. They're going to be talking about the business of their committee work. And it's a great way, though, to perhaps start developing a relationship with a unit that you'd like to join. And even if you don't have an opportunity to run for election and be elected, you might be able to volunteer for that given section or standing committee, special interest group. So it's a great way to build connections with people in an area that interests you, and then be able to connect with people between the WLICs and talk about the area that you have of interest. And as I mentioned to you, I had an interest in both marketing and management. And so that's where I chose to sort of put my efforts. I will say that it's really, really important. I can't emphasize enough, and Marie-Emmanuelle already said it, is plan ahead. Make sure you're quite aware of the program offerings, and take advantage of being able to go and see the posters, because a number of the posters are presented by new professionals or even by LIS students, and it would be a great place to connect with those people. Identify if there are people you know who are going, whether it's another student or someone who's already in the profession, and arrange, if you are traveling on your own, to connect with people you do know while you're there. I would say as well, book ahead, coffee, lunches, if there are people you know attending, and plan to visit those exhibits, because you'll see a cross section of people there. You'll get to connect with the actual exhibitors and learn more about their products and services that will help you as a professional in the library world. Another hint with accommodations, because sometimes these conferences are very expensive to attend. Sometimes you can make arrangements to stay at a university residence. And while it's not part of the official hotel group that that IFLA has available for conference attendees, it can sometimes be quite a cost-effective way to be able to get to come to WLIC. These international conferences are fairly expensive with the travel and everything. So just something to keep in mind that can help you. But do remember, as Marie-Emmanuelle said, you need to be able to take a train to the venue, and you don't want to find out that it's an hour and a half each way because you're actually almost living in another city. Or of course, in the Netherlands, everything is not too distant, and the train system is great. So it's really easy for you to get around. So I'm just looking at my notes. I also did put a link because I think there's a couple of other awards, and one of which I was involved with. I was the chair of the jury for the the IFLA Press Reader International Marketing Awards. And that's another fun award to look at in terms of how libraries promote themselves and their services, or library associations or organizations. And so I put the link in the chat for you to be able to connect with. And I will say, do be sure when you're at the conference to follow in social media and post to social media. Great way to hear about interesting sessions that are coming up and hear about interesting things happening at the conference. And I think it is important to do both the professional role and to make sure you have an opportunity to attend the social events. And the tours of the libraries are great, especially if you're coming in from another country and you haven't had the opportunity to visit those countries and see some of the highlights of what's happening in libraries in the host country. So keep in mind that those are the Friday, Marie-Emmanuelle? The Friday of WLIC at the end of the professional program. And it's just a great opportunity for you not only to see the libraries, but connect with other people in the library sector and maybe build your network that way as well. So those were, considering that Barbara and Marie-Emmanuelle stole a number of my points to raise, those were the items that I really wanted to bring up to you today. And happy to answer any questions that you might have, as is Marie-Emmanuelle, if you've thought up another one for her.
Thank you so much, Leslie. This is so exciting. I can't wait to see you do the opening ceremony. Well, you won't be doing it. Barbara
That'll
will,
be in 2025. So
25, yeah.
You can pace
Sorry.
yourself for that.
Sorry, pace the site, but I'm sure you're going to be involved in a lot of the events and activities throughout the time. And now we know who to contact for some of these things as well. And Marie-Emmanuelle, I don't know if other things that are coming, they're putting some things about, she wanted to know about the library visits on the last day of the Congress. There are so many tours to choose from. What is the best way to pick one?
Yeah, so I've put the link of the library visits in the chat. And yes, it's true, there are, if you look at the list, it's huge, correct? So you have to decide if you want to go on a day-long library visit tour, which is going to take the whole day. Obviously, you can see the start time and the end time here, and in some cases, for example, you see that it's pretty far. If you have to decide for yourself if you want to spend the whole day, I mean, not the whole day, but some time of the day in a bus or not in the bus. So you see that you have the day-long library visits and the half-day library visits. So that could be a first angle to choose which library visit you want to register for. We will add a third category not very soon, but beginning of July. We will add another category which will be a half-day library visit, but only in Rotterdam and in the Rotterdam area, much closer. But we only add them at the latest. We always do it this way because we want to give an opportunity to people to register for the further libraries. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that you need maybe to look at, there is a description for each library visit with some pictures. So I think you need to do a little bit of research there on your, either it can be based, I don't know. For example, myself, I was on a break last week. I visited a different country and I ended up visiting 3 different libraries, and it was not exactly by accident, but almost. And I decided I wanted to visit a specific cultural heritage location. They had a library. I also visited the library. I wanted to visit an art library. There was one. I went. So I think depending on your topic of interest and what I mentioned regarding the distance to the conference center and to Rotterdam, and when you will be traveling back to your home country, then that could be that's the first 3 things that come to my mind for the decision.
And I'll just add, when you do those library visits that are a half day or a full day, it's like going on a road trip with a bunch of friends and colleagues, and you often meet people that you wouldn't have met otherwise. You spend a day together and they may end up being part of your network going forward. So just something to keep in mind, that you see great libraries, you meet people at the libraries, but you're also spending the day with IFLA attendees and getting to know some different people.
Oh, that's quite true. And sometimes it even includes more than one library on the day trip. It's not just one trip, but also it really gives you an opportunity, as we're saying, to do a really deep dive into that library. And they usually show you all the different departments and again, a way to network and a particular connection to a particular, I enjoy technology, connected to several other projects in digitization and things like that. It gave an opportunity to see those projects really up close and gain some really great insights. So great opportunity. Any last questions from anybody? It's fine. I think we're pretty much putting them in the chat instead of the QA, but that works well for everyone. And thank you so much, Leslie. Any final words? I'll share my screen about the next upcoming conference webinar, which will be on June 15 to boost your leadership conference. And the speaker will be Vera Cohen. But maybe a word about saying it's fully booked. And I guess it's just a reminder, but perhaps Albina, you can share some final thoughts with us.
Yes, thank you, Jen. Thank you very much, Leslie, Marie-Emmanuelle, and Barbara. This webinar was just great, and I just would like to highlight just a few things that I liked the most for myself, and I think that LAS students will enjoy viewing this webinar on our YouTube channel. So thank you, Barbara, for overviewing the WLIC program. I think though it was very short, but it was very detailed description. And for those who never visited the IFLA Congress, they will have an overview of what it looks like and where you can find the program. Even if you don't attend the Congress, it is always good to know what topics are discussed, are being discussed there. And so you will know the news, you will have more ideas what you can do in your library, in your field, in your profession. So thank you, Barbara, for overviewing this program. Marie-Emmanuelle, I like these 8 tips how to get the most from IFLA Congress, and I think that as well LAS students will have ideas how to get prepared for any of library congresses or conferences in the future, because these tips really help you to get prepared for professional contacts, for professional life. Leslie, thank you very much. This was very interesting, how to become IFLA president. I like this. And I guess when the first Canadian became IFLA president, you put this goal. So congratulations again. And thank you very much for these ideas and tips how to get the most from IFLA Congress and how to develop professional contacts with those people who actually are great in this in our profession, in our library world. Thank you very much for sharing this with us and for sharing this with our LAS students worldwide. Thank you.
Thank you. And Suzanne, do you have any last words about your impressions too?
Yeah, thank you very much to our speakers. I think there's been a lot of very useful information about the IFLA WLIC, but also on other, I mean, it can be used on other conferences as well. and a lot of practical tips. So thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to this conference, the virtual conference and the conference in Rotterdam. And thank you very much to our speakers. Also, thank you very much to our participants. And I hope to see you all very soon. Thank you.
And thank you for organizing this great webinar and inviting Barbara and Marie-Emmanuelle, myself to participate. It's so nice to connect with our students who are going to be joining the profession.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. I'll end here. Suzanne, thank you all. And we look forward to seeing some of you at IFLA. And now you know where to connect, hopefully, and don't hesitate to ask anyone. They're so happy to welcome you. I'll leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.